So the study, let me just repeat the topic, embedding sustainability, ESG concept, ESG concepts in business school curriculum, an empirical study using SEM. So what is it all about and what the study talks? Just let me talk about it. So the traditional management paradigm and the sustainable management paradigm, when we talk about it, let me just say, we begin today by acknowledging a profound transformation in global business landscape. We are currently witnessing a critical pivot while climate change, escalating social inequality, and high-profile governance failures are forcing organizations to look beyond the traditional bottom line. For decades, management education focused almost exclusively on economic efficiency and shareholder profit maximization. However, the modern era demands a sustainable management paradigm. So this research explores how business schools are the primary training grounds for future leaders and must transition towards a stakeholder-oriented approach that integrates environment, social, and governance, or ESG, concepts directly into core DNA of their curriculum. The next slide, let me just speak. So the next slide is the 3 pillars of ESG educational framework. Now, what exactly are these 3 pillars? So let me just talk about it. To understand this shift, we must look at the ESG framework, which serves as a comprehensive lens through which stakeholders now evaluate corporate conduct. This study focuses on 3 dimensions. Number 1, environmental, focusing on ecological stewardship, the social, centering of human equity and community engagement, and governance, which demands broad accountability and ethical conduct. This theory is grounded in stakeholder theory, moving away from narrow view of profit to a broader understanding that a firm's success is tied to its relationship with its employees, the environment, and the society at large. The literature shows that while sustainability education is growing, it is often relegated to isolated elective rather than being woven into core disciplines like finance and marketing. The next slide talks about the missing empirical link in sustainability education. So what is that missing link that we are talking? So the first point when we talk about it, that is the research gap and the objectives. What is the research gap? So in spite of or despite the enthusiasm for ESG, a significant experiential blind spot remains in our current academic understanding. Most existing literature is descriptive, simply listing the sustainability courses that exist rather than analyzing the underlying mechanisms of how student actually learns. Furthermore, there is a distinct lack of structural equation modeling, studies that validate the pathways between institutional support and actual leadership development. Therefore, the core objective of this study is to provide empirical evidence that maps the precise mechanisms transforming institutional commitment into student leadership readiness. And this objective leads to the question. And what is that question? Does having sustainability focused curriculum actually makes a student ready to lead a resilient organization? This is the question that we are asking. Let me go to the grounds. What grounds are we talking? So the next slide, grounding the constructs in stakeholder and experiential learning theories. When we talk about it, so this slide establishes the theoretical backbone of our model. Institutional support acts as foundational enabler, while ESG curriculum integration is grounded in stakeholder theory, ensuring that future managers adopt a multi-stakeholder perspective. However, knowledge alone is insufficient. Through experiential learning, grounded in Klobb's framework, the theory is translated into practice. This process builds a sustainability awareness characterized by systems thinking and ethical reasoning, which ultimately culminates in leadership readiness defined by accountability, transparency, and resilience. When we talk about the next part, that is the proposed structural model and hypothesis pathways. So this slide talks about, so the answer is a conceptual model is developed, which is grounded in both stakeholder theory and Kolb's experimental learning theory. So the hypothesis that we talk about is institutional support positively influences ESG curriculum integration, that is H1, hypothesis 1. H2, ESG curriculum integration positively influences experiential learning. H3, experiential learning positively influences sustainability awareness. H4, ESG curriculum integration positively influences sustainability awareness. H5, sustainability awareness positively influences leadership readiness. Experiential learning mediates, this is H6, experiential learning mediates the relationship between ESG curriculum integration and sustainability awareness. And when I go to the next slide, it talks about the quantitative design and sampling strategy. So when you talk about the sampling strategy part, so to test
Dr.
these...
Gaur, you know that we can't see the most part of the slide.
Oh.
Just make it larger or the presentation mode.
I think, is it now visible, sir?
Stay as it is, yes. This is
okay.
fine.
Okay. Fair enough. So I'll just go through this. So this is quantitative design and sampling strategy. So what is this all about? To test these hypotheses, a rigorous quantitative research design was employed. A stratified random sampling technique was utilized to survey a final sample of 300 MBA and business management students. The data was collected via structured questionnaire consisting of 25 items measured on 5-point Likert scale, covering 5 key constructs: institutional support, ESG integration, experiential learning, sustainability awareness, and leadership readiness. To ensure the highest level of accuracy in testing these complex multi-layered relationships, the data was analyzed using Smart PLS4 software. Next slide, which is my almost fourth last slide. Measurement model assessment. So this particular slide talks about ensuring reliability and validity. Before testing the story, it was to be ensured that the collected data was scientifically sound. The measurement model assessment confirmed high reliability with Cronbach alpha and composite reliability values exceeding 0.70 threshold. Specifically, institutional support showed an alpha 0.88 and experiential learning reached 0.89. The convergent validity was also confirmed as every average variance extracted, that we say AVE, was above 0.50 mark, ranging from 0.61 for leadership readiness and 0.66 for experiential learning. Finally, the discriminant validity was confirmed via Fornell's-Larkner criterion, proving that the 5 constructs are statistically distinct from one another. Next slide, which is my third last slide. Structure model results and predictive power. Now, what exactly this slide wants to show? When we look at the results of structure model and the story becomes pretty clear. All 5 direct hypotheses, that is H1 to H5, were empirically supported. The path from institutional support to curriculum integration, H1, was strong with a path coefficient of 0.59 and a t-value of 7.45. The strongest link in the model was between sustainability awareness and leadership readiness, which is H5, with a path coefficient of 0.68 and t-value of 8.54. This model demonstrates moderate to strong explanatory power, with R-square values showing that the constructs explain 55% of variance is sustainability awareness and 46% of the variance is, which is the 46% of variance in final leadership readiness. Let me just critically conclude this. The critical mediating role of experiential learning. What is that role? So this is primarily the discussion. The critical mediating role of experiential learning, perhaps the most significant finding is partial mediation confirmed in H6. The data proves that while a strong curriculum is good, practical sustainability experiences such as simulations, ESG data analysis, projects, and industry internships actively strengthen the impact of that education. Experiential learning acts like a catalyst that transforms theoretical understanding into applied skills. Discussion emphasizes that institutional support is the primary driver. Without administrative commitment and resource allocation, the entire educational sequence from curriculum to the development of responsible leaders never truly begins. To conclude in the end, theoretical practical implications, which is visible in the slide. What is it all about? So, implications of this study are far reaching. Number one, theoretically, stakeholder theory has been validated by proving that ESG integration effectively prepares students to prioritize diverse interest over simple shareholder returns. Practically, for business schools and administrators, this is a call to move beyond isolated electives and fund faculty development so that they weave sustainability into core disciplines. For curriculum designers, the message is clear. Prioritize high impact experiential tools like sustainability consulting and industry pipelines. Finally, for policymakers, the recommendation is to funding and accreditation standards directly to ESG integration to ensure the curriculum meets real-world corporate demands. And this happens to be the last slide, which is the final impact. So the final impact talks about, in conclusion, institutionalizing ESG is no longer an optional add-on for business schools. That is what my study says. It is a fundamental requirement for securing resilient global economy. While this study is limited to cross-sectional design and potential self-reporting bias, it provides a blueprint for developing responsible leaders. Looking ahead, longitudinal studies are suggested to track how these graduates perform in workforce over time, as well as multi-country comparative studies. As we face the future, integration of AI and digital analytics in teaching complex ESG matrix will be vital next step. By combining administrative commitment with rigorous experiential learning, we can develop the leaders the world truly needs. So that will be all from my side. Thank you so much.